Yo, you're listening to Vice Tribe here on WTT Radio, Atlanta's #1 alternative live streaming radio show. I'm your host, FAJAP, and I'm in the building with Miko, Meak Evans, with Meak Productions Incorporated. How you doing today, sir?
All is well, man. It is just an awesome pleasure to be here. And just being in the studio just bring back memories, man.
Yeah, because you said you did radio, right?
I still do.
Okay.
This year will be 14 years. Next year will be our 15th anniversary in media.
Okay.
And the former network that we got our start with, the Exceptional Radio Network, they was the network that actually pioneered internet and live stream radio here in Atlanta.
Oh, wow.
And so we was very fortunate enough to be their first LGBT liaisons and have our first syndicated LGBT talk show on their network.
Okay.
And that's how we pioneered LGBT radio here, and we didn't know it, so yeah.
Wow. So do you still get on the air, or are you just kind of behind the scenes?
Most of the stuff, I still get on the air from time to time, but lately I've been mostly behind the scenes, what we're doing now is we're just trying to continue to create a platform for new people who will have a desire to be in media, to give them a chance to shine now. So yeah.
Okay. Nice. So tell me about yourself. Tell me about Miko Evans.
Well, Miko Evans, of course, proud to say that I made it to 5-0. Bless God.
Congrats.
I'll be 5-1 November 15th of this year. And I'm born and raised in the ATL. I'm probably one of the faithful few. And born and raised in ATL, graduated from Northside School of the Arts, the same school that Jasmine Guy graduated from, and a lot of that. So Isaac Hayes' daughter also graduated from there, and everything like that. Actually, we was in the same class, graduating class of 89. And so, I had a chance to do that. I got my degree in music and business management from the Art Institute of Atlanta in 91. And started my business. This was way before the existence of Meak Productions. I started my first business, MAE and Associates, back in 1995. I was still living in the projects then. Yeah, in Old Techwood. I used to always say, it's not where you live, it's how you live.
That's true. That's where Georgia Tech is now, right? Techwood over there?
Yeah, and that's where where the new community of Centennial Place is now. Because I was involved with how I started my business is that I was one of the youngest planning committee members for the redevelopment of Techwood.
Because there was some projects over there, they tore them down, I remember that, some years ago.
Yeah, some years ago. So like I said, that's a whole different topic within itself. That's like more of like an hour show. Yeah, to talk about that and stuff. But yeah, that's about me. And did May and Associates for a long time, and then I changed division later back in 2003. And that particular year, that was when the vision from the divine came to me about creating the world's first LGBTQ exclusive talent agency and production company known as Meak Productions today. And during that time, that was when word was coming out that Logo TV was coming, Here TV was coming, and some other, there was supposed to have been a total of about six LGBT television networks. That's what that came out at that time, but only 2 lasted. Of course, Logo TV and Here TV.
Right.
Yeah. So So that was the inspiration that started that, because I was actually I was getting ready to have my first presence at Atlanta Black Pride during that year of 2003, because my elementary school classmate, who she came out to me, I think a few years ago. I want to give a shout out to LA Lamb, and she was telling me, hey, Miko, you want to share booth space with me? I said, yeah, because I kind of want to do some things for the LGBT community anyway. And so when I was thinking about what to present at my table, besides me doing graphic design, which is what I've been doing for the past 27 years, I was trying to find out what else to do. And then that's when the vision of Meak Productions came to fruition. 2003. And next year will be the 20th conceptual anniversary of the vision.
Okay, we'll get into that in a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about Meak Productions. So it's a talent agency, you do media, and then you do special projects. So break that down.
Well, we're known, by being the world's first LGBTQ exclusive talent agency. I wanted it when the vision came to me, the first thing that the creator revealed to me was, since Logo TV and all these things were coming, and that was also word of an LGBT music record label by Sony years ago.
Wow.
But it was short-lived. It never went anywhere. And I know they regret that now, but it never went anywhere. And so the first thing that I thought about was, okay, who's going to represent these talents? Who's going to look after the rights of these talents, to where They don't have to sell out who they are just to be in mainstream or just to be in the industry. They can actually be their authentic selves. And so that's where the inspiration came from starting the agency. So it's a talent agency where we represent all forms of talent that who are from the LGBTQ community who are out and open.
Okay.
And but we didn't get a chance to do our first casting call till the existence of MySpace. And MySpace, when MySpace came about, 'cause like I said, I'm old school. So I come from the days of America Online, MSN communities, Yahoo groups, Yahoo community, you know, and stuff like that. So I come from that era.
Dial up and all that.
Yeah, and all that stuff. 56K, you know, the whole Windows 95, 98, Windows Millennium, and Windows XP and all that. So by the time MySpace came about, that was how we was able to publicly push Meak Productions.
Okay.
Because right now, like I said, it started out as an idea. We went ahead and got the domain name. Before meakproductions.com, it was meakproductions.us. And we decided to kind of test the water to see what the community and people thought about it. And I was very naive then because I was so excited about the vision. I'm thinking that the entire LGBTQ community was going to flock. But what I didn't realize, and I'm sure you all have to realize later, is that being a part of the community is one thing, but doing business in the LGBTQ community is something totally different.
It is.
And it took me a few years to really realize that and stuff. But yeah, I kind of got the message.
I got that early, like,
okay.
So I already understood it. I was like, okay, so I know the mission.
Yeah, yes. So it's a totally different ball game and stuff. But yeah, but that's how we started. We casted our first talent online via our MySpace page in 06, 07.
Okay.
2007. That's when we did our first casting, and then we did our first online marketing campaign to push those talents. Fall of 2007, going into 08. Yeah, that's how it started.
Okay. Nice. All right. So the talent agency. So the media. Where does the media come in?
Media came in about we did our first online casting call summer 07, fall 07. We did the first campaign. Then we had 2008, that's we had our first quarterly campaigns of our winter campaign, spring campaign, summer, and fall. By the time, it was like 08. By the time 09 came, that's when we ran into our first straight ally. I want to give a shout out to Dominique Huff, founder of the Huff Firm and the 10th Amendment Media Group. And during that time, he had just acquired the Exceptional Radio Network from the former founder, BJ Ellis, who had passed in 08. And Dominique was an intern. He had just came out of Georgia State University, and so he was an intern. Boom. Matter of fact, Dominique used to be the former editor of The Signal. And so he used to be the former editor of The Signal, Urbanite. And he actually was the one that made a lot of changes to the paper, and a lot of things that the paper and stuff is doing now would not have happened if it wasn't for him. So he pioneered a lot of things there before he left the school. But anyway, ran into Dominique because I had a graphic design contract with him through my other business, the Meak Corporation. And when he found out that I had Meak Productions, he was like, well, you know I got this network, and you've already done the logo and stuff for the new part of the network. He said, you know we're looking for an LGBT show. And it was never my intention to do anything in media with Meak Productions. I already had media concepts for the Meak Corporation, and we had the gospel show, we had the entrepreneurs talk show, but I never thought about doing anything in media-wise for the LGBTQ community. I told him, let me think about this. And so I thought about it, and he wanted to do the show. I said, well, keep in mind, you're a straight ally. And I'm like, people in the community don't know you yet. So I had to teach him that game too. I said, no, people got to get to know you before you do anything in the community. I said, so it would be better for us to produce the show and let us be your LGBT liaison so that you can have that establishment of that relationship with somebody in the community so they can know that you're genuine. And so that's how our first show, Same Gender Loving Expressions, launched in August. The pre-shows launched in August of 2009. And this was when, and our first guest was the executive team of In the Life Atlanta, which was the former group that created Atlanta Black Pride.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because In the Life Atlanta is now a foundation now, so, and they've made Atlanta Black Pride Inc. its own separate company. So yeah, but we Atlanta Black Pride Inc. was our first guest. And that's how we became media sponsors for Atlanta Black Pride, and it has stayed that way for the past, 13 years?
And that's a good segue, because let's talk about that, because you're doing the annual Black Gay Pride
press conference.
So that's how that all kind
That's how all that started. Because the interesting thing about that is when we started in media with Same Gender Loving Expressions, our first weekly show started that September of 2009. The pre-show was August. Our TLA was part 1 and part 2 because we had 2 board members to be guests. Then we had our first public feature along with the Exceptional Radio Network at that Black Pride at the Host Hotel that year. Okay. Then our syndicated show had various guests from the entire LGBTQ community there. By the time 2011 came, this was the year, for the first time in a long time, where all of the club promoters and the host organization came together to share the same host hotel. That had never happened. And so that was historic. And during this time, we had communications with the Lions Den, which is the LGBT arm of Extreme Entertainment, Gregory Allen and all of them. We'll give them a shout out. So when we was communicating with them, I told them, because they was already a guest on our show more than once. And I told him, I said, Greg, I said, is anybody documenting this? Is anybody documenting this on radio or on video or anything? He said, well, no. I said, we want to do a press conference because we feel that this is historic. Because during this time, this was the 15th anniversary of Atlanta Black Gay Pride. And this was the first time in years when all of the club promoters and the host organization and the nonprofits was actually coming together. I said, we need to document this. And that's how the annual Atlanta Black Pride press conference started. We produced it, and it was up under the name of History of Black Gay Atlanta. The press conference was such a success to where we decided to keep it going. And then we decided, I was like, you know what, we might as well go ahead and make this a separate division of our company, because Meak Productions is for the entire LGBTQ community, but we needed something that was totally dedicated for Black LGBT. So that's how History of Black Gay America started, out of the History of Black Gay Atlanta Black Pride press conference.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we did a lot of historic things just through media alone that we didn't even know.
Wow.
Through media, we was the first media sponsors for a lot of various Black Pride events, various LGBT events across the nation, since we was like pioneered internet and online radio from Atlanta, and a lot of people did not have that type of exposure before. And so, you know, we didn't even know we was making history until one of the other dudes who had their own shows from Blog Talk Radio told us that, Miko, you know, you pioneering stuff. We used to follow you. And I'm like, I didn't know that. You know, so want to give a shout out to them.
Who's watching.
Yeah, you never know who's watching and stuff. So yeah, that's how media was what took us and the Meak Productions brand to the next level.
Okay, nice. All right, so Black Gay Pride is coming up in September. We're pretty much all in August. So you're working on that press conference. When is the press conference? When is that?
We normally try to always have the press conference the week before Labor Day weekend.
Okay.
And I know for the previous years, we've always had it. We had an opportunity to have it at our studio office, because at the time, we used to always try to have it either at the host hotel, where Atlanta Black Pride is going to be at, the host organization is, or we try to have it at a location that we have a connection with. And for the first time, I think during the 8th year, we had it at our studio office when we had just moved into it in East Atlanta Village. That's where our studio office is. And back then, they used to have a upstairs event space, because our office was downstairs on the second up in the basement. And so the main floor had like a special events area with the stage and everything. And so that's what we had for the past couple of years. We had the press conference there. Then the pandemic happened, and we had to have it online. Last year was the 10-year anniversary of the Black Pride Press Conference series, and we actually did the first of many History of Black Gay Atlanta Hall of Fame and Justice inductions, where we honored ITLA, Tracks Atlanta, and we honored the Marquette Lounge, which of course is Atlanta's very first Black gay nightclub since the late 60s. So we had a chance to do that at the press conference, and we also had a chance to introduce our partnership with Peach Atlanta magazine. So that was which was a historic thing at the time. So yeah, I mean, a lot of things historic happened as a result of us being in media. And so we're very grateful for that.
Nice. Okay, so that'll be the week before Pride.
Yeah, it should be the week before Pride. The exact date we're still working on, and because I know right now, since the event space is no longer there, we're trying to find another avenue, event space where we can actually have the press conference. And so that's still in the works right now. But yeah, but it's normally always either that Wednesday, Thursday, that Friday, that last weekend, the week before Labor Day weekend. It's always usually the week before Labor Day weekend because we try not to disturb people during the week of.
Right.
Because it's going to be too much going on.
Exactly.
So we always try to get them at least the week before.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do outside media get involved with that?
Just contact us because we are, because the press conference is for outside media, but we give first preference to independent media such as yourself and stuff. Because like I said, that's how we got our start. So we're going to always give first preference to all of our online digital media outlets, internet radio media outlets, to all of our podcasters, all of our video bloggers. We always give first preference to them. Okay. Because that's how we got our start.
Nice. We'll definitely probably be there, so we'll be talking more.
Of course, yeah.
All right, nice. And then you also got the 10th anniversary partnership with Out on Film.
Yes. This year marks our 10-year anniversary in being media partners with Out on Film, which is Atlanta's largest LGBT film festival here in Atlanta. And we're also...
does that venue or location change every year? They have it, or it's always at the same?
It's always at the same landmark Midtown Arts Cinema.
Okay.
Right there, behind Piedmont Park, where the old graded high school used to be, because it's called Midtown High now. Yeah. And so it's right there.
In the little shopping plaza.
It's in the shopping plaza, the Midtown Promenade.
Okay. Cool.
They always have it there. And last year was the first year that they did the hybrid film festival, where it was both online, it was both digital, virtual, and it was both in person. Okay. And that was really their biggest financial year yet. So this year is their either their 30th anniversary or 35th anniversary of Out on Film, and so it also marks our 10-year anniversary and us getting involved with them as their first digital radio media partner. And so hopefully, if we get everything together, I want to plan something special to honor that. Okay. So hopefully we'll be able to sponsor their VIP reception in honor of our 10-year anniversary partnership. So that's what we're working on. And also second, this year is also the 10th anniversary of the our partnership with the Metro Atlanta Association of Professionals, which was formerly known as the Atlanta Executive Network. And their history is the Atlanta Executive Network was Atlanta's very first LGBT business association, business networking association. Okay. And they changed their name to MAP in, I think, 2013. Or 2014. Okay. Yeah, so we got on board with them after they were celebrating their 20th anniversary, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, so we had a chance to be media partners with them during their last years of AEN, and then we was there for the transition into the Metro Atlanta Association of Professionals. Okay. So we got something planned for them as well. Hopefully, if it's not before Pride, Black Pride, it'll be before the main Atlanta Pride. So yeah, we're trying to work on that.
Okay, which is in October.
Yes, October.
Okay. So y'all be looking out for that. So what about the Out on Film? Is that you trying to do that before Pride too? Or
yeah, because usually Out on Film is always the last week in September going into the first week in October. Okay. And they're usually the event that precedes Atlanta Pride Festival weekend. Okay. So we're trying to do our 10-year anniversary partnership tribute to them doing the week of the beginning as they launched the festival. Okay. So that's what we're trying to do. So hopefully we can do it around about that time.
Okay, nice. Oh, this sounds exciting. I'm definitely looking forward to being involved.
Yes.
Okay. And then the 20th conceptual anniversary of Meak Productions.
That is one of the reasons why we took a hiatus this year on doing our quarterly marketing campaigns, because I knew I had to kind of get my mind together to try to think about, okay, how are we going to celebrate 20 years of this conception? And so our idea is, and we're looking for partners and sponsors now, our idea is to do a global tour of Meak Productions, which will include different aspects of our company, the talent agency, the production aspect, and the media aspect. And because of what we have, because under the talent agency division, we have not just our talents, but we also have music department, which actually represents our LGBT record label. We also have, for those that's in adult entertainment, we have a segment for them where we represent those artists. We have a segment for those who are in public speaking, who are in literary arts, our authors and stuff. So I'm like, okay, we're trying to create a weekend type thing where we can go to different cities and feature both community panels, LGBT music concert, and like, something like in the evening at one of the clubs, like a little strippers contest or whatever. And then, trying to do everything to represent all aspects of our company to celebrate, in different cities.
Okay.
And stuff like that, because we do have talents from different cities in the country. And I know we have about one or two. Our first international talents, one is in the UK.
Okay.
And I think we may have one in Sweden. So
Wow.
And plus we're getting ready to do an online casting call next week via social media. So stay tuned for that.
Okay, nice. A lot of exciting things.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now we're into the Vice part of the show.
That's
All
right. That's right.
All right. So, entrepreneurship in our community. Let's talk about that. So, what do you think about that? Do you see it trending in a good way? You pioneered a lot of things. So
there's not enough support for, and I'm gonna take my glasses off for this because we about to get real. There's not enough support for LGBT-owned businesses, and particularly when it comes to LGBTQ people of color. And the reason why I'm saying this is because I think one of the biggest mistakes that our leaders and our activists in the LGBTQ community, I think what the biggest mistakes that we made is that we were so busy trying to be accepted by the outside to where we forgot to make sure that we support ourselves.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that y'all heard me correctly. We need to focus on making sure that we support ourselves, because after what happened with Roe versus Wade, that's one of the reasons why the House had to go ahead and approve the right to marriage for not just for LGBTQ people, but also for the interracial couples as well.
Yeah.
Because once again, we were so busy trying to be accepted, when I'm like, okay, we need to make sure that we continue to accept and love on ourselves. That means that we're not supposed to neglect our LGBT-owned businesses and stuff like that. The reason why that was created is because we knew that we wasn't getting enough love and stuff in corporate America, because back during those times, like during the 60s, 70s, and 80s, we couldn't be out in the open in corporate America. Once people found out that you were gay, a lot of people used to fire you back then, and that's one of the reasons why we created businesses within our own community, so that we can support our own. And so, like I said, there needs to be more support. We're proud to say that for the past 2 years, we've been official media partners for the Out Georgia Business Alliance, which is the state of Georgia's only LGBTQ Chamber of Commerce.
Oh.
They just awarded 3 business grants to 3 LGBTQ-owned restaurants here in Atlanta.
Virgil's one of them?
Virgil's was one of them. We was there. We was actually at the annual LGBTQ Business Summit and Expo that was at Truist Park last week, and now we was there to take pictures with Virgil's. They was one of the ones that actually got the $12,000 grant.
Okay.
Along with the founder of Wolf Sports Bar, and I think another restaurant that was awarded from the National Gay and Lesbian Chamber of Commerce. So, and we've been LGBTQ certified for the past 2 years, thanks to our connections with Out Georgia. And so that's what I'm saying. I think what the pandemic did was it brought the LGBTQ community as a whole together.
Yeah.
Because another thing that the LGBTQ community has to work on is that there's still a lot of discrimination within the LGBTQ plus community.
Yes.
And we got to really make sure that we get that destroyed.
Yeah.
That discrimination within our own community, that has to be destroyed, because the powers that be, the haters, the homophobes, and all that stuff, and the religious right, they have been known to use those small divisions within our own communities to divide and conquer us.
But does the work have to be done in the Black community first, and then, because it's still a sub part of the Black, because we do that within the Black community.
Of course, you know what I'm saying, and I think with the Black community, what I'm noticing now is that they're understanding that we have to be a complete community. Black people are not a monolith.
Yeah.
What our Ivory brothers and sisters, and these are the white people who I call my Ivory brothers and sisters, which means these are the ones that are not racist, they're anti-racist, they are all for human rights. What I have to encourage my Ivory brothers and sisters to let them know is that we have to show, if we're really about a rainbow, we have to make sure that we recognize everybody within that rainbow.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And also to my trans sisters, in particularly this new generation, I think it's time for the elders in our community to make sure that we are there to coach and mentor our young community and stuff, because once again, I think they need to understand what we had to go through in order to make things possible for them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because while a lot of our young trans men and women, in particular our females, while they're fighting for their rights and everything like that, I think this age gap needs to actually be closed as well. You know what I'm saying? Because, for example, like with the situation with what happened with Macy Gray and the statement that she made.
Yeah.
You got some who are siding with T.S. Madison, love her, so proud of where she's at right now in her career. But you have also those that side with Flame Monroe. And I'm actually proud of both of them. I think we need to take both of those concepts from both trans women that come from different generations. We have to actually take both of their concepts and look at them for what they're really saying. And once again, any way possible that we can bring unity within our community is what we need to do, so that we can stand firm when we are being attacked and when our rights are being, jeopardized and stuff. So I think we need to do more unity within our own community and stuff. But getting back to even with the black community, many people in the black community are now realizing that, hey, black people are not a monolith.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All blacks are not Christian and Muslim. You know what I'm saying? We have some blacks who are Buddhists, some who are non-believers, who are atheists, some who are more spiritual. I'm omniversal. Yeah. So they're now realizing that all black people are different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Within our own communities and stuff like that. And so they're now realizing that, okay, we got to make sure that we come together. In other words, we got to get back to that place where we were when we was doing the civil rights movement, where everybody was at that March on Washington. People from all different races, creeds, colors, religions, and faiths was at that March on Washington. And from the civil rights movement, that's how the women's rights movement was birthed, the LGBTQ movement was birthed, you know what I'm saying? And all these other movements were birthed, you know what I'm saying, as a result of what happened at the civil rights movement and the March on Washington. So we got to get back to that place.
Yeah, I think we are.
I think we are too. That's what I love about the millennial generation and generation Z, Y and Z. They're making sure that we have these rights now. But like I said, as elders, somebody who's from Gen X, we got to make sure, because we're the next elders in line once the baby boomers are gone. Generation X, we're the next elders. So we got to make sure that we are there for you all. And stuff like that. And whatever the baby boomers didn't do, we got to make sure that we do it. Generation X do it, and make sure that we correct what the baby boomers didn't do. So we got to make sure that we're there.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And trust me, me representing Generation X, I'm gonna make sure it get done. All right, come on.
That's right. I believe it. So, how do you feel about entertainers taking control of their artistic works?
One of the reasons why I created Meak Productions is so that talents could be in control of their arts, which is one of the reasons why I encourage them to always pace themselves and to take their time.
Yeah.
Because I don't want them actually being a part of something to where they're not able to be in control of their artistic works. You know what I'm saying? Many talents within who register with our agency, what we did when we noticed that there were some talents that had their own businesses, even especially those businesses that was sort of like in line with what we're doing, because we didn't want there to be a conflict of interest, we created something separate called the CEO Roundtable.
Okay.
And the CEO Roundtable is those talents who registered with our agency, but they have their own businesses, and we saw something different. I said, no, so that there wouldn't be no conflict of interest, we want to make sure that they're able to still be entrepreneurs, but still get the representation that they need from our agency. Okay, how can we partner? And so that's where really some of our partnerships started as a result of that.
Okay.
We had one of the first persons to help launch that CEO Roundtable idea. One, Tony Enos, who was our first gentleman of music. He was one of the first ones who we actually did a full-fledged music project with. We was very instrumental in launching his first debut CD.
Okay.
We sponsored his second CD single, and we sponsored the first remixes that we did for that single. And then we also designed the album cover, CD cover, and did the marketing and advertising for his first debut CD, since he was already a talent with our agency. So it was a win-win situation. His company, Little T Entertainment, and then our company, Meak Productions. It was a perfect marriage. So that's how the idea of the CEO Roundtable started. Then we had another brief partnership with the late and the great Jonathan Pierre Cornell. He had his own photography studios and stuff, but he mostly worked with the general public in the heterosexual market, but he wasn't as out as a bisexual artist, and so he knew that he needed someone to represent him in that light. So we was his agency that he went to. He said, hey, nobody knows me as bisexual and stuff. And I told him, I said, okay, now once you get with us, you're gonna have to be out, you know, stuff like that. So we introduced him as our first openly black bisexual talent, and he also became our first Gentleman of Summer. When we did our first summer quarter campaign, he was our first Gentleman of Summer. So yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, so that's how that started and stuff. So that's how we kind of on our end. That's how we support other entrepreneurs within the LGBTQ plus community. Making sure that they stay focused on doing their business. At the same time, we're able to work together and partner on some things. Now, another member of our CEO roundtable, I want to give a shout out to our first gentleman of inspiration. He's our first public speaker. That's a part of our talent agency. Dr. Jesse Sanders from Columbus, Ohio. He's getting ready to introduce his first, two of his cocktails and conversations community panel, where he wants to bring the importance of mental health within our community, because he's a certified counselor, you know what I'm saying, and he's also anointed too. Brother can speak, and because I know he's was also an ordained prophet before he actually came out and everything like that, and he actually has 2 children. And but he's out and proud, and he's getting ready to bring one of his first of his cocktails and conversations down here to Atlanta as a part of Atlanta Black Pride, because he's already launched it for the Pride organizations up there in Columbus, and that was a huge success.
Okay.
So we're looking forward to actually presenting him down here in the ATL once more and again, because I know we booked him in Atlanta for the first time back in that 2018? Yeah, 2018 and 2019. So yeah. So we got to present him to the Atlanta market that way.
Okay.
Shout out, Dr. Jesse, shout out.
All right, last question. All right, you kind of been talking about this already, but I want to know, what's been your experience with the LGBTQIA plus talent agency in Atlanta's growing TV and film industry?
It's been an uphill journey, because I had to do a lot of work to get people to notice this vision. And it took some time for people to take us seriously. Because I was a person who, I had a vision, but I didn't have no industry connections. I knew I was experiencing entrepreneurship, and I knew I had my degree. Like I said, my background is in music business management, because like I said, I'm an artist, and performing artist and visual artist myself. However, I didn't have no industry connections. And I knew I had this vision of Meak Productions, but I didn't want it to continue to sit on the shelf. Because Meak Productions really saved my life. Because during the recession, when my first business, the Meak Corporation, when that kind of suffered because of the first recession we had, I had to have something to keep me going. And so building Meak Productions is what kept me going. And this was also during the period when I was actually had a homeless experience too. And so to keep me focused, building Meak Productions is what kept me focused. And I never forget it, this was between Easter weekend of '06 going into that fall of 2008 when I had that homeless experience and stuff. So that's what kept me going, building Meak Productions. But in that particular time, it's like, didn't have no connection, but that's what I'm saying. Meak Productions saved me, because being online saved me to get the vision out. And like I said, doing a lot of work to prove who I was. You know what I'm saying? Because it was just very hard just to really crack that door to get people to pay attention to what we was trying to do. And it's still kind of uphill battle, because once again, trying to build this type of vision from the Confederate South, making that perfectly clear, being from the South, people getting used to a person of color leading this type of concept, because every time they see my face, they automatically think that this is a Black LGBT agency. No, this is the world's first LGBT exclusive talent agency, and we are. Because if you Google LGBT talent agency, we're the first to pop up, because we was the first to do it. We was the first to get that we was the first to produce an all-inclusive LGBT calendar. We was the first to have a online radio network that was live streamed with a major pioneering network to include everybody and everything, to be inclusive, to make sure that trans people are represented. And so we did a lot of pioneering things and stuff like that. But like I said, it's still an uphill battle.
Okay.
I have to say that there's still not more work that needs to be done. Because even though we have a lot of LGBT people that's cracking doors in mainstream, there's still some discrimination going on.
Yeah.
And you can tell by the fact that Pose only had 3 seasons?
Yeah.
How come it didn't have more? When Noah's Ark first came out, they counseled them within their second season, and that was a pioneering show. I remember when they first, when Patrick Ian Pope, when I first met him, that was at a Black Pride back in 03, 04. It was actually 04. And they was only doing the DVD circuit. You know what I'm saying? They're selling the DVDs online. It was just going to be a DVD series. And then they got picked up by Logo. And that's how all that started. But I remember when they got started and stuff, and everybody was looking forward to them having more seasons and stuff, and then all of a sudden they canceled them.
And then they did the movie.
And then they did the movie, and that was where that closed the gap and stuff like that. But keep in mind, that has been outside of RuPaul's Drag Race. Right. That was the only LGBT show of color that was represented on logos. So yeah. So like I said, there's still more work that needs to be done, that there's still more support for LGBTQ people that needs to be done. I'm glad of the pioneering things that Lil Nas X is doing.
Yeah.
Represent the ATL.
Right.
From the generation Y and Z generation and stuff. So I'm just proud of what's being done, but I know more can be done. Yeah.
We coming because Patrick Ian Polk, he's now on P Valley.
Yes, I found out about that.
So now that he has a door, maybe Showtime. He'll be more.
And of course, what Justice Smollett is doing with B-Boy Blues and bringing that out and everything like that. So I'm proud of what's happening. But like I said, we just need more. And I want to give a shout out to my boy.
The more of us doing it, the more we're going to continue to rise and shine.
That part. Billy Porter, I got to give a shout out to him because a lot of folks don't know Billy been on.
Yeah.
I was first introduced to Billy from a Straight Ally back in the 90s. And I remember he came out with this live unplugged CD that he did live in New York, and I never heard. I said, damn, that boy can sing. But that was before I found out about his other pioneering efforts through Broadway and stuff like that. So a lot of people thinking that, Billy Porter just just started just through polls. I said, child, please, honey, Billy Porter been on.
Yeah.
And he represents my generation, Gen X. So, during that time when we couldn't come out, you know what I'm saying? And if we did, it was detrimental to our career. So, I appreciate people like him and knowing what T.S. Madison went through in her struggles and look at where she's at now on WeTV. Child. Yeah. So there's some things that's happening, but a lot more needs to be done.
Yep. And then we got our artists. We got Saucy Santana.
Yeah.
Kid Ken. We said Lil Nas X. I think it's one more rapper, but it's coming. So, what do you want to talk about these magazines? Peach magazine. You said
let me talk about this is the latest issue of Peach Atlanta magazine, which is Atlanta's longest running weekly LGBTQ magazine. Was formerly known as David Atlanta, for those people that remember. I remember that. And the new owners of Peach Media and Printing acquired both David, Goliath, and Phoenix magazine, starting with the F, F-E-N-U-X-E. And, Peaches now has been the dominant weekly magazine now. And our partnership with them started late summer of 2000, late summer of 2000 or 2001. I think it was around about that time. And so this year, August of this year, will mark the 2-year anniversary of our partnership. Okay. And very, very proud of that. We was able to give a lot of our talents their first published work and for published appearance through Peach Atlanta magazine. We've done a lot of historic things with Peach because no LGBT publication has ever had a 3-part series as related to Black Pride. We did that for the first time last year, where we actually had a 3-part series honoring the 25th anniversary of Atlanta Black Gay Pride. Okay. And so we had like the pre-Black Pride issue, which talked about the 10th anniversary of the Black Pride press conference that we produced. Then we had the 25th anniversary issue of Black Pride, where I made sure that every club promoter, every event, and everybody was represented. Because people know I don't play. I don't do that. I don't play favorites. Yeah. I make sure that every club promoter, whether they falling out or anything like that, everybody gonna get love. Yeah. I don't care what y'all think about the host organization. Everybody gonna get love. Atlanta Black Pride Inc., Pure Heat Community Festival, Colors, Manual Labor, Labor Day Rock. I don't care who you are. Everybody's gonna get love, and we don't play favorites. Yeah. So I was very, very pleased with last year's. And we're just excited about that. So like I said, pick up the latest copy. This is the latest copy here that was just released, and they have new issues out every Wednesday of the week here in the ATL. But it's also digitally available through their website, peachatl.com. And you can also get it through issue.com/peachatlmag. So yeah.
Okay, nice.
Mhm.
All right, so where can people find you? What do you want to leave the listeners with?
Our website is www.meak as in kite productions with an s.lgbt. That's a new domain, y'all. A new web extension. That's provided by Pride Life Domains. They are the ones that introduced the new domains .lgbt. So you have .com, .net, .us, .tv. Now you have .lgbt to recognize all LGBT companies online. So we got the .lgbt extension. Was it the beginning of this year or sometime last year? Yeah, I think we got it last year and then launched it this year. So yeah, so we're now at meakproductions.lgbt. That's the official website. And on all social media, we're at Meak Productions, MEAK as in kite, Meak Productions with an S. And on YouTube, it's Meak Productions TV.
Okay.
Yeah, so check us out. Follow us all the time, many times as you can. For our previously broadcast radio shows, you can go to mixcloud.com/Meak Productions and soundcloud.com/Meak Productions to check out our radio production, radio commercials portfolio.
Okay. Yep, I've seen those links, so I'm definitely checking those out.
Because like I said, y'all need radio commercials produced. Let us know. We can do that.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sure we do.
We got 14 years experience, so let us know.
I want some drops and a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
So, amazing. All right, cool. All right, then you know where you can find us, Vice_Tribe_ATL on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, Vice Tribe ATL on our YouTube, and you can catch us at vicetribeatl@gmail.com for business and bookings. You have a business, you have something you're doing great, positive in the community. We would love to have a conversation with you. We would love to talk to you. We would love to make you a friend of the show. TikTok is there, Vice Tribe ATL. We're building our content there. Patreon's coming.
Vice Tribe in the house.
Yes.
I want to say that I'm so proud of you all. When I think about everything that we pioneered for online radio, internet radio, podcast here in Atlanta, and to see you all going forth, We Are Radio.
Yeah, there it is.
All of them want to give We Are Radio a shout out, just to see everybody that's coming after us, who's taking things further and stuff like that. I'm just proud of every last one of you all, because it lets me know that the work that we did is not in vain. So yeah, I'm very, very, very proud of you all. Congrats. Anything that we can do to continue to support you all, you know we're there. Because I don't believe in competition, I believe in collaboration.
Yes.
It's not about competition, it's about collaboration. That's one of the things that I'm proud of with the new generation, with Generation Y and Z, that you all are more willing to collaborate.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't see competition or anything like that. Y'all say, hey, the more the merrier. There's enough room in the pie for everybody. So yes, I like working with folks like that.
Yes. So follow, like, subscribe, share, and retweet. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Vice Tribe, where we teach, reach, inspire, bridge, and empower the community here on WTT Radio, Atlanta's #1 alternative live streaming radio. I'm your host, FAJP. We're here every Saturdays from 5 to 7. Until next time, check us out. Come back. All right, peace. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Peace, y'all. Have a great weekend.